Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with the start of what's going to be our little Maladum playthrough. Remember, this is just my little town video. We're not in the dungeon yet. It's kind of a prelude to the actual dungeon segment of the game. I went over the scenario previously in the setup video of how everything's going to be done, all those special rules I'm doing for the game. But just understand that this is basic. There's not going to be any searching. I'm not going to be worrying about the whole dread tracker, so this doohickey here, which is very shiny. That's the only downside of their products. The rest of it is very good, but it does get shiny in my light. But we're not going to have the dread tracker, not for this first video, no searching. They're just going to have their basic standard equipment. And again, the town has been attacked by our evil sorcerer, right? He has called in the zombie attack and dived back down into the well, so he's not going to be here for it. And there's only going to be the remnants, whatever the hell they call these zombies. Zombies attacking the town. They are going to be pushing their way in. From the right, there's two segments on the right that they will be pushing in from. I'll show you those here in a sec. But as little zombies move in, I will have the rest of the NPCs move around in the NPC segment randomly. So I will roll their special die. This one, we'll just make a roll. It has an arrow and a number on it. So whatever that comes up with will be the direction and how many inches they're going to move. Because remember, the game technically operates off of the little 1-inch squares, but it can easily translate into inches because those squares are inches. So if you need to have a segment like this where there's no squares, you just move them however many inches, whatever the range is. Everything translates very, very easily. So again, for my special scenario, there's a large town here, well, rather small town actually, that they are trying to defend. There is a sorcerer. He's way back over here on the porch, and we'll pan across the town as we get going. Our little sorcerer guy, right, got his little magic staff there. He is going to be up on the porch, and he is attempting to cast a spell to shield the town from the evil zombies that are pouring in. Later, once the town is secured, they will dive down into the dungeon to try to take out the evil sorcerer and all his little machinations and zombies and other demons that are down there. But for now, they're just trying to shield the town. I decided I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit from what I was first estimating on it. So we're just going to do 4 zombies killed. Once 4 zombies are killed, they simply have to survive for 3 more turns, and that will complete it. He'll have enough time and power charged up to cast his shield spell, which will repel all the zombies from the town. Now, again, this is my little scenario. This is something that I came up with just to have fun with and to help learn the game. And that, again, is something I very much like about Core Space and Maladum. It is extremely malleable. It's good for RPGs, it's good for groups, it's good for solitaire. You can play their missions, you can play your own scenarios, whatever you want to do, make the game your own. One of the key complaints that I've heard about Maladum since so many people have gotten into it is that it is too difficult. So many people say that they've played that first scenario, it's golden coins or something like that is the name of it. They've played it 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and their party just keeps getting wiped. Change the rules up a little bit. Do whatever. Make it your own. You can ease things back a little so you're not just getting ruffle stomped, because that's no fun. You want to progress. You want to have those tense, gritty moments, but you want to kind of progress your characters. And yes, they need to be threatened, but they don't need to just be stomped into the ground either. All right, so I cut off my direct light so I get less reflection on here. For my characters, I showed them all in the preview video. Definitely go check them out there. They'll all be acting. But remember, when it came to their XP, which is this gold set down over here, these will be filled up as the characters go through their missions. You'll get a point each time that you successfully complete a scenario. Instead of doing it their way, which is once you completed a row, you get points, I changed mine to every 2 points, you get points towards skills and spells and all the other good stuff. What that does is it basically gives the same amount of skill points at the end. I think when I went through and I did the math on it, I came out like 1 or 2 points ahead, but it really wasn't a huge amount. But what it does, in my opinion, is it gives you a gradual increase to your player's power rather than these just large jumps, right? So you complete a row and then suddenly your character goes up. Complete another row, then your character goes up. Especially towards the bottom, there's big jumps because you start adding 2 and 3 points all in one jump. So your character gets this just massive boost. And instead, like every 2 points, every two of these that are filled, you get a point. And I think that just works out so much easier. Yes, towards the end, I'm not making as big of a leap because I'm still just getting 1 point at a time, but I've accrued more as the game's gone on. Trust me when I'm saying that it basically adds up to roughly the same amount of points. Again, I think I might come out 1 or 2 points ahead, 1, 2 points behind, somewhere around there. It's not a huge deal, but it's that gradual increase instead of that stair step method that theirs goes with. And again, it's your game. Play it your way. Have fun. That's the only thing that matters, is that you have fun with it. It doesn't matter if you tweak the rules or you're not playing it exactly like everyone else is playing it, because you're not playing with everyone else. You're playing a game. Have fun with it. All right, so let's just pan across the town real quick to show you guys what we got going on. There's the tavern back here. That's where my guys are starting off. They will all come out and have to defend around the tavern. Over there's just a little shed. It's got a little cart with some rum in it, which I wanted to move out a little bit farther. And over here is the blacksmith shop. He's out there, got his little anvil and his hammer, doing his little anvil thing. Right here in the center, we've got the town well. A couple people hanging around. That zombie's going to be off the board because he's not starting on there. Up over here, we've got our little storage area where they store the rum they've been making, and a little training spot. And then we've got our little river. The little river creek in the game is from one of their expansions. So there's an expansion you can get, and the neat part about this is these are actually reversible. So if you want to have like a lava dungeon, you can do that as well. And there are pieces to make these a little more thematic. There's what's the best way to describe it? A little rock piece, a little ledge that goes around this, and it gives it a 3D look, but that's more for dungeons when it's like a canal. I just wanted a barrier, a river source to be represented here. I think this works well enough. So player characters and zombies can't cross the water, but they can cross the bridge or this little walkway down over here. Our zombies are going to be entering from the upper right and then also from the bottom left of the table. So I've got one zombie here. I've got one up there. This is the wharf, the little fisherman's hut, and there's the bridge crossing it. So they'll be coming in down along the bottom here, pushing their way in, and coming along here and crossing the little plank bridge across the river. Only other thing you got to remember when I am playing this game is, I'll go ahead and repeat it now, there is no weapon breaking. I take that out. I hate weapon breaking. I hated it in Core Space. I hate it in this game. I'm not going to play with it. If a weapon is used with a heavy strike, let me actually grab one for an example. So, for example, my favorite character, Grogmar here. God, I love Grogmar. He's freaking awesome barbarian. He's so cool. His little axe has that yellow border to it that indicates it can make a heavy strike. Doing a heavy strike adds a die to the attack, but it gives the chance for the weapon to be broken. I don't like that. I hate breaking weapons. It's just so stupid. What, he's going to have to deal with the rest of the dungeon with his bare hands? Now, he's actually good with his bare hands. Most characters aren't. So, no, not doing that. Screw that crap. If a weapon does break, I'm playing it as they can no longer make any heavy attacks with that weapon. They can still use the weapon. They just can't get that bonus die anymore, and they will have to repair it post the scenario, post completing the mission. They'll have to repair. And just to show it very quickly here, oh no, it's the Revenants is the faction. It's the Lamenters. I can never remember the damn name of these damn things. I tried to get the grayish look on them, but I just didn't get it quite matched up. I had a little too much green in there, but I thought I did well with the orange, the fluorescent flames on the inside. I got close there, but it should have been a little lighter on the gray. Oh well, yeah, I got them close. They have some special abilities. The key thing for them is they have the ability to poison. They do roll a 2-die attack. They can only do that in melee. They have no armor. That's represented by that. So any hits will kill them outright, which is a good thing. Do any characters here? None of these characters have ranged abilities, I don't think. Oh, no, this one does. You can tell target symbol there shows a ranged ability. Key thing for him, though, is his first strike ability, because Lamenters only have a single action point. So you would think they only get to do one thing. So they could move or they could attack, and then that would be it. But not so. Basically, Lamenters here with that first strike ability means if they move into base-to-base contact, they can go ahead and strike. So effectively, they've got the action economy of someone with 2 actions without actually spending the 2 actions. So they're a lot tougher than they originally appear. The base enemies in core space were actually the little base robots were 1 action enemies, and they were easier to take out because of that. I think that might be the problem that people are finding out with these Lamenters, because that first strike ability just, it gives them so much action economy. They might as well have 2 actions because they effectively do anyway. So if I find that they're too hard with that, maybe you take away first strike from them. But for this first game, we'll leave it in and we'll just see how it does. If they do get a critical hit, which is the double on the dice, they will poison the opponent, so one of my characters, and that will suck because that can slowly drain my health over turns or cause fatigue. And the friendly characters on the board, if they are attacked successfully by a Lamenter, they will turn into a Lamenter, so they can propagate very quickly. That can turn bad if I don't keep their numbers down. Now, that last rule, that's one of mine. That's a house rule I'm doing for this scenario only. So just keep that in mind. That's not a rule for Maladum. That's a rule for me. All right, but let's go ahead and get started in here, get a little bit of the game going. And we are going to start with the Dread Phase. The Dread Phase will not be taking place. I will use it later to keep track of what turn we're in. But again, like I said, this first learning game, we're only going to have Lamenters, so there's no reason for me to tick up this track. Later on, when we dip into the dungeons, we will be doing so. I will still be drawing a deck of cards. I did come up with a basic deck of cards to draw for this, and these are our event cards. So our first card is going to be Blaze of Glory. The first player who keeps this card without showing other players, you may discard this card at the start of one of your adventure turns. If they have at least 3 enemies in short range, that'll be bad. All of that adventurer's attacks this turn roll 1 additional die and gain Vicious, Quick Strike, and Cleave in addition to their normal attacks. Now that's freaking awesome. That is a good card to start this with. That will make my characters very punchy, at least one of my characters, which I've already shown you, my Druid and Barbarian, but I'll go ahead and show you the Guardian. Again, just as an FYI, starting him as a Guardian gave him an extra health point, which bumps him all the way to 6 starting out, which is tremendous. He has 1 skill, a couple of magic, which will do fairly nice for him. But the big thing for him is he, like the Barbarian, has just a basic 3-die attack. He has 4 arms, so he gets 3 dice just right off the bat. He's a big character, just like Grogmar, so that's really cool, and has a couple of special abilities. I think quick recovery, which is like a healing thing, so I can spend a skill peg to recover a little health. Gave him the staff, which, that gives him some range, so he can reach out 1 inch farther, maybe hit him before. Gave him a shield and a little recovery item there as well. And he has built in Brutal Assault, which I'll have to check again to see what Brutal Assault does. The symbology in the game, it just gets heavy. There's no way to remember all of it. which again, though, there's cards for all of it, so that definitely comes in handy. Which, rank 1 of Brutal Assault, tells us that he gets to make one melee attack at +1 die and lay the target prone. So he lays him out if he doesn't kill him. And the only other character you guys haven't seen in this video as of yet is my Sirio. He's basically an elf. He's the ranged character. He starts with reflexes. Is that reflexes? No. Yeah, reflexes. Damn, small type on this shit. He has the marksman. He gets the Hawkeye ability. So basically he can shoot into opponents without having to worry about hitting any friendlies. And I reinforced that, basically putting the points into his skills that allow him to shoot better. He's just starting with a basic bow though. So he gets 2 die at range, 1 die at close range, but he's going to be trying to shoot at further range. A couple of things of arrows just in case he runs out, a little healing item, and a basic club just in case he gets stuck in. He has that as an innate ability. If he's not wearing any armor, he is 1 inch faster. All right, so this is the cool part about their terrain. This is one of their terrain packs that has all the villages in it. You can open it up and it's got furniture, bookcases, tables. It makes the perfect RPG setup if you're into tabletop RPGs. I've got all my characters starting in there, and I'm going to basically just move them out from the door. They're all right there by the door, out here to prepare to get ready. Sirio, I am not worrying about too much because I am leaving him up here on the porch for like high cover. There down the stairs. Basically, he can get down the stairs, and you can use the 1 effortless action as an extra inch. So I'll give him an extra inch. And I've got my little roller here, 6 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, and I don't know what that is. And that's 1 inch. Basically, they can move 4 inches. So that plus that as an action, or as an effortless action, their little free small action, they get that extra inch, which can come in handy. And we'll move Grogmar, same thing. Let's flick that around. 3 inches down. Basically, he's just going to move out here next to the other big one on the ground. And our barbarian, not barbarian, our druid, he can get to the end of the stairs. I'm going to have him head to the right. Oh, and something else cool about this terrain is technically it's 2 floors. The tavern is. I'm not lifting it all up because I don't want to worry about lifting the stairs up. But this layer here is actually an upper layer. There is a floor. There's a door right there underneath there. So this is a 2-story building. There's 1 story underneath the little porch up here that you guys can't see. And then the upper layer where the basically the tavern is, where the roof is, where you can lift that off. So it's really, really cool terrain. All of this that you're seeing came from the same terrain pack. I'll make sure and link it down below so you guys know where to get it. And they haven't sponsored me. They haven't given me anything. I just like their stuff. It's cost effective for the amount of good terrain that you get in a box. All right, and after we get into the dread phase, the adventure phase, we go to the adversary phase, and then the NPC phase. Basically, all the other characters on the board will go after them. So, wait, when do I roll for new ones? All right, I'm going to go ahead and move the zombies here. Move them up, and then we'll give them another inch. So they're each moving 4. They're going to move towards either the closest NPC or my characters. The river, again, is going to block them off. There's one down below. I'll show you here in just a sec, who's also moved up. And all right, to start off, when we're rolling to see if any adversaries come in, there's the adversary die, right? So this will tell you how many are going to come in. There's 1, 1, and 2 on there. And then later on, we've got graveyard, which I'm going to just treat for this scenario as extra guys coming in as well. So to start off, the only way we're going to get any adversaries coming in will be if they are rolled for here on the die. All right, so let's roll up here. And we're getting 1. And we'll roll for the bottom spawn. That. Which I will slide over just for ease. You see that one came up. Blink. And a drop of die. But yeah, so we got one new zombie that I went ahead and placed there, and he is coming in now as well. Now, just to show you guys really quick how this will work, I'll do the rest of them off camera to keep things sped up a little bit. We've got a couple of NPCs here, so let's go ahead and roll for this top right one. And he's actually moving a pretty good distance. He's going 5 inches, as you can see in this direction. So we'll move him 3 and then another 2 up to there. And we'll roll for this one here at the top. And that's just 1 down, so 2 about there. So that's how I'm going to handle it for all the other NPCs that are on the board, of which there are 9 total, with the exception of the sorcerer, who, if he dies, everyone loses anyway. So there's a lot of potential zombies on the board, but on the bright side, they will distract them from my characters long enough to hopefully hold them out and give that sorcerer a chance to cast his spell. All right, so at the end of our first turn, we've got our adventurers moving into position. A couple of them are down here. I'm probably going to space these guys out. Little Grogmar here, who I just bumped. And what the hell is that one's name? That one is Khan. Grogmar and Khan. They're going to be my frontline bruisers. They have the most defense and the most offense. So I want them to be out front. I'm going to use my druid as kind of a backup to help hold off the zombies as best I can. So if any zombies get past either of these, the druid will be there to intercept. And I'm going to use Sirio, whatever the hell his name is, the archer, to pick off any that get within his range to try to, slow the tide, because I think the first few turns will start off a little slow, but as the villagers start getting taken out one by one, that's going to have a cumulative effect. One villager turns into a zombie, and now there's 2, and then those 2 zombies attack a couple other villagers, now there's 4. So it can quickly exponentially rise if I don't pick them off, but they've only got 1 health. Any hit takes them out. But in a swarm, if they start swarming my characters, they can start taking a lot of damage, and especially that poison can really weaken my characters. On the bright side, though, the druid does have a ward spell, a shield spell that he can use, that I do plan on using to give him a little token here that will effectively give him a shield to use. And I can't remember which one of them it is. I think it's Grogmar has the shield. No, Khan has a shield and equipped. The shield that he has equipped will give him a reroll. So if he's attacked, he can use that as a reroll. But he has to spend an action to do so. So he can spend an action to raise his shield token to defend himself. Grogmar actually has body armor that will negate 1 hit. It's the similar effect to having the ward spell, the 1 ward token, right, that the druid has. So the druid's using magical armor, whereas Grogmar is using physical armor. Sirio, the archer, has the least, but he needs the least because if he starts getting stuck into hand-to-hand combat, that means my front lines have probably already been taken out. I don't anticipate this first game being all that difficult. I really think it's going to come down to how many of the villagers get killed off and how quickly. I expect a good chunk of them start getting taken out fairly quickly, but as long as I can keep the numbers of the lamenters down and they don't bunch up, I should be okay. All right, but we'll go ahead and cut it here. I'll pick up with the next video, and we'll probably be able to get a couple of turns done since I won't have to explain the beginning stuff all over again. We can jump right into the gameplay. Remember, 3 lamenters killed. That builds enough necrotic energy that our sorcerer can cast a spell. And then after that, it's 4 killed. 4 killed builds enough necrotic energy, and then it's 3 turns after those 4 lamenters have killed to cast his spell. After that, we will be diving down into the dungeons to try to take out the warlock ourselves. All right, you guys stay tuned. I'll catch you in the next one.